Hello everybody, Board Game Lawyer here. It is a Wednesday evening and it's time to play some Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. So let's go down to the table and see what I'm going to be playing with this evening. So tonight I'm going to be playing with Remy LeBeau, who is Gambit, one of the X-Men. So in his alter ego form, Remy LeBeau says that he is a mutant thief. A thief extraordinaire action is a thwart action. Exhaust Remy LeBeau and look at the top two cards of the encounter deck. Discard one of those cards. Remove threat from a scheme. Equal the number of boost icons on that card. So Remy LeBeau begins with a hand size of 6 and he has 9 hit points. What am I going to be playing against this evening? Well, let's just take a look here. So let's see. We've got the Green Goblin on the table. And the Green Goblin is the Mutagen formula version of the Green Goblin. And we're going to be playing an expert this evening. So let's take a look at unleashing the Mutagen. Here it tells us that our contents are, we're going to use Goblin 2 and 3 tonight. We're going to use the Mutagen formula encounter deck, as well as the standard and expert encounter sets, and one modular encounter set. The recommended one is Goblin Gimmicks. I took that out, and I put in the Shadow King instead. So our setup tells us to put a Goblin Thrall minion into play, engage with each player, shuffle the encounter deck, and advance to stage 1B. So we have a Goblin Thrall out here on the table. He is a minion with a scheme of 1, attack of 1. Hit points of 3. He is traded as a Goblin. He is a guard, and it says while this minion is engaged with you, you cannot attack the villain. So that is our Goblin Thrall. He is on the table. Let's flip over to the other side of unleashing the Mutagen, and here it tells us when completed in player order, each player not engaged with a Goblin minion must discard 3 cards from the encounter deck and put the first Goblin minion they discarded this way into play, engaged with them. So again, when completed, each player not engaged with a Goblin minion, discard 3 cards from the encounter deck, put the first Goblin minion they discarded this way into play. Again, it begins with threat size or threat of 2. So that's all of the setup for unleashing the Mutagen. We'll have to pay attention to these when completed schemes. Let's look at Mr. Green Goblin. He is the man of the hour. He has a scheme of 2, an attack of 2, and the attack of 2 has a force response. It says after Green Goblin attacks and damages you, place 1 threat on the main scheme. Okay. Now he has a when revealed ability, and that is to deal 2 encounter cards to each player. That is a terrible idea, but we'll go ahead and do that now and get that done. All right, so that's everything for the setup for Mr. Green Goblin over there in standard form. Let's take a look and see what my hand is going to be. Let me go ahead and deal that out. So I'm going to draw my hand size of 6. And let's see what we got. So we got Gambit Staff. It says when an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit Staff, deal 1 damage to that enemy. That's good. We've got Royal Flush, which is an event, attack superpower. It's an attack event. We've got Energy, Defiance, Clea, and Expert Defense. So we're not going to be defending necessarily on my first turn. So my mulligan is to get rid of some defense cards. So there goes Defiance and Expert Defense. Too bad. Would have liked to have had those. We got Clea. It says when Clea is defeated, shuffle her into her owner's deck, and Royal Flush. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be doing a lot with a Royal Flush right out of the gate here. So let's keep Gambit Staff, because I do want to get that out. Clea is probably not a bad idea to keep around. And Energy of 2, of course, we're going to keep that. Let's go ahead and draw 3 more cards. So our first one is Powerful Punch. It's a Hero Interrupt, attack defense. When an enemy initiates an attack, deal 4 damage to that enemy. The next card is Molecular Acceleration, which is a Hero Interrupt. When you spend this card, place 1 charge counter on Gambit, and it has 2 resources built into it. And then the third card is the Charged card. And it's a hero action, which is to deal 4 damage to an enemy. For this attack, if Gambit's throaty card ability removed at least 1 counter, this attack gains ranged. 2 counters, this attack also gains piercing. And 3 counters, this attack also gains overkill. So when we flip over to our hero form, that's whenever these counters come into play. For this attack of Gambit's throaty card ability, removed at least 3. So that throaty card ability is on the opposite side of our hero. So am I going to use that? I think I just might. Throaty card. Yeah, let's do that. This attack gains piercing. Yeah, we could do some damage here. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to flip over to our hero side. Let's look at our action first. It says exhaust Remy LeBeau and look at the top 2 cards of the encounter deck. Discard one of those cards. Remove threat from a scheme equal to the number of boost icons on that card. But we really don't want Green Goblin and a Goblin Thrall scheming, because that's going to be quite a bit, and there's 2 on there already, and if that whiffs, probably not. So let's go ahead and flip over to our hero side. So now Gambit's hero side says he has the charge card action, which is to place 1 counter here, and this is a limit of once per round, so we'll go ahead and do that now while we're thinking about it. And then his other action is throaty card, which is an interrupt. When you play an attack event, remove up to 3 charge counters from here. That event deals +1 damage for each counter removed. Okay. So let's do this. Let's put Gambit's staff out, and we're going to use Powerful Punch to pay for that. We'll use the Molecular Acceleration. It says Hero Runner-Up. When you spin this card, place 1 charge counter on Gambit. So we'll go ahead and do that. Place 1 charge counter on Gambit, and we're going to spend those 2 resources to put Clea out. Okay, good. So we'll discard that. And now we have the charge card. It says this attack gains piercing. 1 counter, this attack gains ranged. 3 counters, this attack also gains overkill. I don't know that we want to use any of those, actually. I think we may. Well, actually, the throaty card says when you play an attack event, remove up to 3 charge counters from here. That event deals +1 damage for each counter removed. So it would deal additional damage if we use the charge the card and remove both of those. It would gain piercing, but that's not important because there's nothing really to pierce. Clea could do some damage, and Gambit can do some damage. So let's start off with getting rid of that guard. Yeah, that's a good idea. So we're going to place 1 damage into the Goblin Thrall with Clea. We'll exhaust Gambit to do 2 damage to the Goblin Thrall. And so he's defeated. So there goes that guard. And then if we play Charge the Card, we're going to spend 2 resources, which is the energy here, to play Charge the Card. We are going to deal 4 damage to the enemy. We're also going to remove 2 charge counters from Gambit. 1, 2. So now we're going to be able to do 6 damage to the Green Goblin. So we knock him down. He started off at 18. We've knocked him down to 12. Charge the card goes away. Discard that. And we are... When an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit staff, deal 1 damage to that enemy. Alright. So that is a nice little... almost like a retaliate built into Gambit now. So we will end our turn, advance the phase, turn things over to the Green Goblin. Let's take a look and see what we got in our hand. We've got Downtime, which is play under any player's control, max 1 per player. My recovery is +2. I also got Endurance, Flow Like Water, Counterpunch. Ooh, I like that. I like the Counterpunch. And we got another Charge card. Okay, so Counter Punch. If he decides to attack us again, we could defend against that attack and deal damage equal to my attack, which would be good. And it is attack event. Alright, so we place 1 threat on unleashing the Mutagen. Green Goblin is going to attack, and I think we're going to defend this attack with Clea. Keep in mind that she has an interrupt. When Clea is defeated, shuffle her into her owner's deck, so we'll need to remember to do that. She is going to be defeated for sure. Let's just see for how much. Now it says shuffle each Shadow King card from the discard pile into the encounter deck. I don't think there's any cards in the discard pile, right? There's 1. There's the Goblin Thrall that we defeated. So that's all that's in the discard pile. So no Shadow King cards get shuffled into the encounter deck. There is no boost on there. And I think, well, we're going to do Gambit Staff. Yeah, that's going to be a response. Because whenever he attacks, when an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit Staff, deal 1 damage to the enemy. So yeah, we do 1 damage to the Green Goblin. Takes him down to 11. Then he does this Astral attack. Is nothing. So 2 damage into Clea. So now we're going to shuffle Clea into the player deck. Kind of recycle her. Shuffle. I like to shuffle twice. There we go. The Treachery card that was used as a boost is discarded. And now we deal ourselves yet another encounter card. So here are the encounter cards. First one is Goblin Reinforcements. It says, when revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each Goblin minion in play. There's no Goblin minions in play. Boy, but that's a hazard icon that we definitely want to try to get rid of. So that is not good. Here's our second one. Our second one is Under Fire. It says, Surge. When revealed, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. Ooh, Under Fire is terrible. So first off, it's going to Surge. So we'll put that card over here towards the end of the Surge train. And then it says, when revealed, reveal the top card of the encounter deck. So here it is, top card of the encounter deck. We'll discard this one. And it's for it. And it says, Hysteria. Attached to Green Goblin. Forced to interrupt when Green Goblin schemes or attacks. Give him 1 additional boost card for that activation. Okay. Wow. When Green Goblin schemes or attacks, give him 1 additional boost card for that activation. That could be terrible. Let's see what this next card is. And it is Overconfidence. When revealed, let's read the hero version of this card. It says, Green Goblin attacks you. If at least 3 damage was dealt by this activation, this card gains Surge. Okay, dealt and taken. Dealt and taken. Okay, there's a difference there in dealt and taken. I think that dealt is whatever he decides to deal. Taken is whatever he dealt minus whatever my defense would be. So that's terrible. So Green Goblin attacks you if at least 3 damage was dealt by this activation. This card gains Surge. So here is his boost. And then we keep in mind that we have Hysteria. It says when Green Goblin schemes or attacks, give him 1 additional boost for that activation. So here's his second boost card. So we resolve these boosts in order. And then again, if 3 damage was dealt by this activation, this card gains Surge. So we're going to defend it. So Gambit has a defense of 3. And I'm going to use Counterpunch if I'm going to defend, right? Seems like the right thing to do. We're going to Counterpunch. After your hero defends against an enemy attack, deal damage to that enemy equal to your hero's attack. All right, so here are his boost cards. The first one is no boost. It's a special boost. It says put Goblin Soldier into play, engage with you. So now we have another minion to contend with. Here is his second boost, which is a 2, which is terrible because he actually does damage to me. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage, minus 3. So I do take 1 damage, and then he has that forced response after Green Goblin attacks and damages you. Place 1 threat on the main scheme. So there's the 1 threat on the main scheme, and Overconfidence says that if at least 3 damage was dealt, well, he dealt 4 damage. I took 1 damage, is how I think that rule reads. So this card is going to gain Surge, which is another terrible thing. So we'll discard Exhaustion, discard Overconfidence. He's going to Surge into this card. We played Counterpunch, so after you defend against an enemy attack, deal damage to an enemy equal to your hero's attack. So my attack is 2, so it's going to hit Green Goblin for 2. Discard Counterpunch. And I have 2 more encounter cards to mess with. And here is the Goblin Glider. Now we have to spend 2 energy resources to discard this card. What does it do? Attach the enemy with the highest printed hit points and without another Goblin Glider attached. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. So the enemy with the highest printed hit points is the Green Goblin. So he is now going to have, in addition to some Hysteria, he is going to have that Goblin Glider, which makes him +1 on his attack. Ugh. So here is the Goblin Soldier that's blocking us, blocking our way to Green Goblin. Not really. He says when defeated, deal 1 damage to the engaged player. So yeah, there's a Goblin Soldier, a Goblin Glider, Hysteria, Goblin Reinforcements. All of this has come out onto the table. He's attacked us once. He surged into how many cards? And now we have another Goblin Reinforcements. It says, when revealed, place 1 additional threat here for each Goblin minion in play. Well, now there's a Goblin minion in play, so we place an additional threat here. So Goblin Reinforcements. We have 2 of those. So that is 2 more encounter cards that we'll have to deal with. Ugh. Don't like it. Sorry, I just don't. This is terrible. Let's see. I need 2 mental resources to get rid of Hysteria. That's not happening. We need 2 energy resources to get rid of the Goblin Glider. That's not happening. I'm exhausted. My staff is exhausted. Charged card could do some damage, but there's no counters on Gambit just yet. If I add 1 counter, which is what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and do that just for the sake of how this game plays. I'm going to place 1 charge counter on Gambit. Flow Like Water's good because you deal 1 damage whenever you play a defense card. Endurance is helpful. Let's go ahead and put Endurance out. We're going to spend a resource. We'll spend the charged card to put out Endurance. So now Gambit is +3 health. And we'll mark it down here in his health column. So now his max health is 12. Still not good. Downtime. Yeah, I believe we're going to get some downtime out there. And we'll discard Flow Like Water. Okay, so downtime will help us to heal up. Endurance gives us extra health. I'm going to flip down because there is nothing else that I can really do here. And this next turn would be awful. He would damage me a ton. He gets a bunch of encounter cards. Let's see what happens. Let's advance the phase and turn things back over to the Green Goblin. I got Charge Card, Expert Defense, Clea, Moria McTaggart, Molecular Acceleration, and Angel in my hand. All good cards. All right. Yep, those are good. So we do place 1 threat on unleashing the Mutagen. Green Goblin is going to scheme. His Hysteria card says when Green Goblin schemes or attacks, give him 1 additional boost for that activation. So here that is. Here's 1 boost. Here's his second boost. His first boost is a 0. So he schemes for 2 plus 0 plus this card here, which is possessed. It has 2 on it. So he is going to add 4 threat to unleashing the Mutagen. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now it's up to 9. So we'll discard these. We're going to discard unleashing the Mutagen. Hey everybody, Board Game Lawyer of the Future here. I just want you to know that I did forget the when defeated ability on that main scheme. That could have changed things, but anyway, I missed it. Enjoy the rest of the video. It says X is equal to the number of Goblin enemies, including Green Goblin, in play. If the stage is completed, the players lose the game. Another terrible scheme on the table. All right, but that's the end of Green Goblin's activation. Now Goblin Soldier is going to activate. He's going to scheme for 1 on the Mutagen Cloud, so it goes up to 5. 3 encounter cards is what's dealt. So here's the first one. Here's the second one, and here is the third one. Got those Goblin Reinforcements out there on the table, which is really a pest right now. Okay, the first card is Death from Above, Alter Ego. Green Goblin schemes with +X scheme, where X is equal to the villain stage number. +X scheme. Okay, so he's on stage 2 right now. So he's 2 plus 2. And then remember, he gets dealt 2 boost cards for this activation because of that scheme. Green Goblin schemes. So his first one is put the Goblin Soldier into play, engage with you. The second one is put another Goblin Soldier into play, engage with me. It's ridiculous, right? So he schemes for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's up to 9 of 11. If the stage is completed, the players lose the game. Man. Alright, so Death from Above is discarded. I can't help but laugh. This is just ridiculous. We got the Goblin Knight. We got another Goblin minion in play with me. And this is an awful elite Goblin. It says, force response, after Goblin Knight attacks you, discard 1 card from the encounter deck. If that card is Goblin minion, put it into play. Engage with you. 7 health. And the last card is Shadow of the Past. Oh my goodness. Could it get any worse? They have Shadow of the Past out. So who is my... So we got Belladonna that comes out with Quick Strike and Toughness. Force response. After Belladonna attacks and defeats a character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. Shadow of the Past. I'm going to discard it. We know what it does, so we're going to drag out her side scheme, which is the Assassin's Guild. Force response. After an assassin minion attacks, defeats a character, place 2 threat here. And then the cards that get shuffled into the encounter deck is the Guild Assassin, and Assassination Attempt. So we have got assassins. There's assassins everywhere. There's goblins everywhere. This deal's getting worse all the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle these cards into the encounter deck. Hey, well, you know it's my turn, right? So it's so bad. It's so bad. All right, so I'm going to exhaust downtime to place to give myself a health. Giving myself a health. And then I'm going to remove threat. I mean, what do you do? What do you do at this point, right? There's a molecular acceleration. Which could be good. Could be a way to get rid of Belladonna. Charged card. Oh my, this is so terrible. This is really, really bad. Okay, so I'm going to flip over to my hero form. Flip card. Hero form. Yeah, I got to do that. I got to do something here. This is terrible. All right, so I'm going to play Molecular Acceleration. I'm going to put out Angel. Because it says if reduce the cost to play Angel by 1 if your identity has a mutant or X-Men trait. So whenever I play Molecular Acceleration, I can place 1 charge counter at least on Gambit. So that's good. All right, that's good. And then I can play charge to card. I got charge to card. Charge card. It says that I can deal 4 damage to an enemy if Gambit's throaty card ability removed at least 1 counter. This attack gains range. 2 counters. This attack gains piercing. 3 counters. This attack also gains overkill. Now I can place, since I flipped over and I haven't done so yet, I can give myself another counter. So now he has 3 counters. So if I spin the Moria McTaggart card and I spend, say, the Clea card, I can play the Charged card charged card. And now it says 3 counters. This attack also gains overkill. It's going to do 4 damage. Plus we're going to remove all 3 of these counters off of Gambit to do 7 damage total to the Goblin Knight, which is as a force response. After Goblin Knight attacks you, discard 1 card from the encounter deck. If that card is a Goblin minion, put that minion into play, engage with you. So 7 knocks out the Goblin Knight at least, so he's gone. All right, so we've taken care of 1 nasty minion off the table, so we'll discard that. I can't do any more. I can't knock out any more. So I got attack of 2. Angel does an attack of 2. I can't knock out any of the Goblin soldiers. And I have expert defense, which says when your hero defends against an attack, it gets +3 for this attack. So that would be one way to stop a big, huge attack, because we know we got Hysteria and the Goblin Glider coming after Gambit. So, and then we've got the Gambit Staff. Belladonna really needs to go. She's got toughness. After Belladonna attacks and defeats a character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. I can't afford to do that. It's already at 11. And these guys don't remove enough threat. Okay. Okay, so something's got to give here. Something's got to give. Let's look. Let's look here. Oh, and then Assassin's Guild is going to add an additional threat to the Mutagen cloud. Oof. So it's going to add 2. It'll go up to 9. It'll go up to 11. I got to remove threat. That's my lot in life. I got to remove. So Angel is going to knock the tough, say, off of Belladonna, right? And what else am I going to do? I got to get rid of her. I got to get rid of the Assassin's Guild. I got to get rid of Goblin reinforcements. I can't deal with all this threat. Gambit's going to have to just remove 1 threat off of the Mutagen cloud. Yeah. After Belladonna attacks and defeats a character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So I'm going to take all this damage into Gambit, pretty much. So we're going to place 1 consequential damage onto Angel. I'm going to hang on to expert defense because I'm probably going to need it. And I am going to advance the phase. Let's turn things back over to Mr. Green Goblin over there. So we do have that acceleration token on the table. So we have to place 2 threat there. So we're up to 10 out of 11. Hey everybody, Board Game Lawyer of the Future here. I just want to let you know that I did mess up putting threat on the main scheme. I should have put more on it, but it's much more interesting with my mistake. So enjoy the rest of the video. Oh no, Green Goblin. After Green Goblin attacks and damages you, place 1 threat on the main scheme. Let's see what I got in my hand. So I got Defiance, so that'll stop when a boost card on an enemy is turned face up, discard it. So that's good. We want to hang on to that. Counterpunch is good. We want to hang on to that. 2 and expert defense. So all of this attack that he's going to lay into me. So we know that he's going to deal 2 boost cards. Okay, and I'm going to defend it. So I'm going to defend with expert defense, which is going to give me +3. So now I'm up to 6. I'm going to exhaust Gambit Staff to do 1 damage to, let's do it to Belladonna. Okay, when an enemy attacks, exhaust Gambit Staff, deal 1 damage. Oh, so now I can't do it to Belladonna. I got to do it to Green Goblin. So that's 8. He's down to 8 now. I'm going to defend with expert defense. And I'm also going to defend with counterpunch, which is going to do 2 damage to the Green Goblin, potentially. And I'm going to play Defiance, which is going to toss 1 of these boost cards in the trash. It says when a boost on an enemy attacking you would be turned face up, discard it instead. So we're going to discard this one. Let's see what it was. Let's see what it went to the discard pile. So caught off guard, which was 1 threat, got kicked out. All right, so now he's going to attack us for 2, 3, plus this boost here, which is put Goblin Thrall into play, engage with you. Alright, so my expert defense did work. Goblin Thrall comes into play, engage with me. So he hit me for 2, 3, 4. Nope, not 4. Because he doesn't have any boost on him. So the counter punch goes off, so I'm going to do 2 damage to Green Goblin. We're going to discard all of these. Discard these. Alright, good. I'm going to do the damage from Belladonna. She's going to do 3. 3 damage. After Belladonna attacks and defeats a character, place 2 threat on the main scheme. So she's not going to place... He's not going to place any threat on the main scheme because I'm going to take all 3 damage into Gambit. The Goblin Thrall, the Goblin Soldier, the Goblin Soldier, and the Goblin Soldier are all going to attack Gambit for 1, 2, 3, 4. And am I going to take any into Angel? No, we're going to use Angel as a blocker, hopefully. So 1, 2, 3, 4 damage into Gambit. So now he's down to 5. All right. 3 encounter cards. 1, 2, and 3 encounter cards. First one is a Goblin Thrall. I got another minion on the table. Yet another guard and minion on the table. We also draw another Goblin Thrall. Which is and the last card is... Oh my goodness. Hold on, let's set it down here. Just set the card down. Set it down. Come on. It's like it's possessed. Alright, possessed. Treat attached ally as a controlled minion with a blank text box. Attached minion is equal to its printed thwart and does not take consequential damage. When revealed, attach to the ally with the lowest thwart without possessed attached. If you cannot, this card gains surge. So, now my angel is also a minion. Oh my. And this is the end. Let me move all these cards over. This is just too unreal. This is the end, my friend. Oh, this is so terrible. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 minions on the table. I've got 5 health left. I'm exhausted. I'm on my own. I don't have enough resources even to bring Polaris out. So I can't remove any threat. And we're going to add 2 threat at the beginning of his turn. So this is just not good at all. So we're going to place 1 counter onto Gambit. I can't do anything. This is game over. So I'm going to discard Polaris. Advance the phase. Nothing I can do. Even if I flipped over, I couldn't do anything. I've got natural agility. When you defend against an attack, I got Royal Flush, Electrostatic Armor, Armored Vest, and Genius. So, beginning of his turn, we place 2 threat on the main scheme. And it takes it up to 12. So that is it. The Mutagen Cloud has completely covered the entire city. I have Goblin Thralls out the wazoo on the table. My angel has been possessed. I have Belladonna, who is awful. I didn't have anything in my hand, really. I got a Royal Flush, but that's basically what happened to my chances in this game. It was a Royal Flush right down the flusher. And so I lost. So if you stuck it out and you decided to watch this game, thank you. I am the Board Game Lawyer. You can catch me here on Twitch. I Twitch Marvel Champions often, and I enjoy it normally when I'm not going up against some powerhouse nonsense like what you're seeing right now. So thanks for watching my video today. If you saw anything that I did differently, I'll probably just go ahead and upload this one to YouTube. If you saw anything that I did wrong or something I could have done better or something that could have given me a chance or a prayer to win, please let me know in the comments down below. And I appreciate that. And anytime I make a mistake, it does not hurt my feelings if you point that out, because that's how we all learn, oftentimes is through my mistakes. So, all right. Well, thank you everyone for watching this evening. I am the Board Game Lawyer. Catch you next time, and thanks for watching. Take care, everyone.